everyone, Penny here, and let's get started with this junk journal for our healing garden. Super excited to get started. I hope you've gathered your things. I hope you watched week 1 day 2 video because that explains that. These are some envelopes that we've got going on, right? So what I've done, I'm going to show you the envelopes, how to cut. This is the bag. You watched me cut this open the last video, so go back and watch that. So this is what I like to do with my envelopes. So gather you some envelopes. It is I've cut it here in the, I didn't fold it in the middle quite because guess what? It's got this, where's it at? This has got this pocket, right? So you can put things, I'm trying to find something to put back there so you can see, right? Okay, so this is a stamp. So we can put something back there and it will show through. So use those little windows to your advantage, right? Okay, so what I did was I just folded it a little bit past the window, right? And I cut cut a triangle out. I distressed it with some distressing ink. This is archival ink. You can use a marker, or if you don't have, or you can shoe polish or makeup or whatever, mica powder. And I used my corner punchy to fix these two to match these two. This one, right? So when I fold it in my journal, it's going to fit just like this in my journal. This is the spine. It's going to be sewed in just like this. And then that way I'll be able to lift these up and put things in, right? Same thing with this bag. You fold it in the middle, cut off that one end, and you've got 2 pockets for your journal. Okay? So those are ready. So I want to show you about this. So I've got this envelope. I really like these window envelopes. And I'm just going to fold it because this one's not a big envelope. So I can do what I just did. So I'm going to show you that. So there's the crease, right? So I'm going to come in here. You can draw it with a pencil if you want. But I'm just going to do a V where it's going to give me enough room to have 2 pockets in there. And I'm just going to cut that off. Then I'm going to take my corner round punchy thing. You don't have to do this. It just is to match the other side. And this might get in there. Okay. Same thing with this edge. It's the large side. Oh, it's wanting to run because there's only one sheet. Alright, so that's okay. No worries. So then I can just take my scissors, right, and just chop that off. So when I fold this in my journal, I'm going to have 2 pockets. And you can fold it in your journal like this, or you can fold it, have it like this. There's several ways, but I'm going to do like this. Then I'm going to take my distressing ink pad. You don't have to do this. This is just me. I like to add, it gives a little bit of definition. It gives a little bit of a vintage vibe and sort of a grungy, in a garden, grungy garden type thing. So I'm going to do those edges. And I'm not being particular. You can use a tool if you want to get around the edges. These makeup brushes I get from Dollar Tree. There's different sizes. I use those as well. They work pretty good too. To come in here and grunge it up a little bit. It makes it a little bit more broader on the edges. And if you want to come in and add some more grunge, some more brown, just to give it a little bit. Now, you don't have to use brown. This is just what I use. You can use, a different color if you want. Okay, so there we go. So that's one envelope. Another envelope. Now let me show you, let's see. This one's a long one. We can do other things with this one. Since this one is long, we still can fold this over. You want enough room over here. Whatever's here, you want to match over here. So, kind of do this. And I want to make sure that it still will fit in my journal, because our journal is going to be 5 by 8. So I want to make sure that, yeah, it's going to be just 5 3/4. So we're good to go there, right? We're good to go. So that's not going to interfere. So we can still keep this. But what I want to do with this one is I want to glue down this. The flap's already glued. I'm sorry. Actually, what happened was, I think my husband just cut the top of the envelope. So we've already got our pockets coming in this way, right? This way. Wait, which way? This way. So if we put it in a journal, we'll have top loading pockets with this one, right? Okay, so that'll work. That'll work just fine. And if I do this to one piece, then I want to do it to all the pieces so that the journal will be, cohesive all throughout. It will look similar all throughout. I like also putting index cards, like my note cards and scripture cards, like where I've journaled and things. I like to put those in the window pockets. Okay, so there is different types of envelopes there. Well, let's look at this one. This one's got the flappy. So I could just, like fold it over. Again, just fold it over. Right? The same thing. Go in here and cut this out. That type of thing. So that one's good. Let's look at this one, though. This one I want to do something different with, just to give you some ideas. I want to glue the flap down. But what I want to do to this one is I want to cut this edge off, because I want a side loading pocket. I'm going to crimp the corner. Same way with this one. Cut it off real lightly, right? Not a lot. Just a tiny little bit of sliver. Okay? There we go. So now we have side loading. Right? And then I can, if I need to put it in the journal like this, then I can put it in the journal like this. I think that's what I'll do on this one. And then go for my distressing. Okay, so that's how that we are doing the envelopes. You can do them different. This is just how I do them. And they're easier to leave in, to sew in. Okay, let's go ahead and distress this one. So what I've done is I've just took the 8.5 by 11 sheet and folded them in half. Okay, so you can use any kind of papers, like I said, and you can cut them down to 8.5 by 11. But take note, we'll be cutting them again. So 8.5 by 11. We'll be cutting them just a little bit as well, because we're making a 5 by 8 journal. It's just easier to make a 5 by 8 journal. So let's measure our pages. Let's see what we got. We're going to fold them in the middle. So we have 5.5 by 8.5. So we're going to be cutting these down to a 5 by 8. Okay. This is what we're going to be cutting these down. So what I'm doing is I am just folding them in the middle. Now this one doesn't have front and back print. So I got another sheet. This is just in a book that I printed that didn't print well. It cut off the edges. So I'm just going to repurpose. I repurpose everything, because what happens is when you put this in a journal and you start putting your pockets on, your flips, your tucks, and things like that, and your envelopes in, all this is going to go away. You're not going to really, that's why we call them junk journals, because we're actually using junk. There's also called trash journals, and where you just make everything out of whatever comes from. But this is more of a recycle, repurpose, reuse project. Now this one, of course, I've done the same way. Now those that I have printed on back and front, which my printer messed up and printed them crazy. Anywho, I'm still going to use them. Correct? So I'm going to fold me a bunch of pages. Now, pages. When I say pages, these are pages. However, a page has 4 sides in their journal. Okay? So really the 4 sides means that we got 4 pages, journal pages, to 1 sheet of paper. Okay? So this is 1 side, 1 page, 2 page, 3 page, 4 page. So this is 4 days, 4 pages. So each one of these is 4 pages. So we got 4 times 6 right here. That's how many pages. We got 24 pages already. Well, in a journal, we only need 8 days. Or actually, if you're going to do a 30-day journal, then of course you need 30 days. So I like to put 8 sheets. That will give me 32 pages, which is 32 sides. Does that make sense? 8 sheets. So I've got 6, so I need 2 more sheets. I may add some extras in here. Okay, so this one doesn't have anything on the back. That's okay. You can have a blank page, but I wanted to use this that I've Herbal Apothecary. I'm an herbalist, natural health consultant, and things like that. So I have all kinds of garden images and flowers and stuff like that. So I want to use my books. I printed wrong. I want to use my paper. So I do want to use that. So that is 7. And I'll show you too something about the middle. I always like to put something in the middle because I like to hide my I like to hide. Let me get this paper. I'm sorry. I'm probably going to have more than... Oh, wait. We got to wait for the cover. Uh-oh. I got to make the cover pretty. So let me see what I can do. Which one did I fold? And that one be okay. So for the cover, I'm going to pick this, I think, for the cover. So I got to save 1 sheet. Let's see. How many do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I have 8. So I'm going to... I need 1 more sheet for the inside. Let's see, there was one of these. Give me just a minute. Alright. So for the inside cover, I'm going to take this one back because I'm going to need this for the inside part for the file folder. So I've got this. I absolutely love this. This is why it's called a junk journal, y'all. Why it's called a junk journal. Alright, so. And if you are interested in this book, I can tell you how to get it. If you're interested, it's a download. So if you're interested in this book that I'm showing you, I can tell you where you can get it, okay? So I'm lining my pages up. So I like this page first, then this one, then this one. Then I'll do this one. And then I'll go back to this one. Then I'll go back to this one, this one. And I need to put one more because I don't want that space in there. That's the... Let's see, I see something pretty back here. You can put this one in there. Okay. So you can put... Actually, I like this one better. I know I'm being picky, right? I like the images better. Because again, we're just recycle, repurposing, and reusing. So I'm going to fold these sheets and put this, because I don't want the same paper to go against the same paper. Does that make any sense? I want a variety. I need 8 sheets folded. Save this for my file folder. Now, for the cover. We got our pages. We got to cut those down. No worries. We'll cut those. We can cut those down in, I guess, right now. So if you have a chomper, you can use your chomper to cut each page. I'm just going to have one up here. Get me a pencil. Alright, so I need a 5 by 8. And I don't want all these white edges. So I'm going to use this one as my template. Right? So I don't want, say these are, you know, of course 8.5. And I don't want the white. So I'm going to come down off the white. At the top, see that white? I don't want that. Let's measure these. Because these have a white border. Let's see what these. See what this is. This is 7.5. I really need it to be 8. Okay, so You can make it any size of journal you want. So I know from here to here, I can do that page like so. Quickest way to, if you don't want to cut, just rip it. Because it makes a beautiful edge. Doesn't have to be perfect. Nothing. This makes a beautiful edge. See this? It gives it, see? It gives it a beautiful torn look. And this one's going to be too short probably to do that with. But, yeah, that one's going to be too short. So in those cases, if it's too short, you can take a piece of sandpaper or an emery board, rough up that edge. Okay, so this one is, now we got to measure 8. I forgot. 5, I'm sorry, 5. We got our 8, now I need 5. Duh. Okay, so right here is where we need it. And again, I'm just going to rip it. Now, if you don't want to take this time to rip them, cut it. Just cut it with a guillotine or a straight blade and a ruler. But I like this look. There we go. These, since they have the white border by print because that's the way I designed it. That's no worries. It'll still have a white border, but that's okay because I can distress that, and I may like the white border anyway, so that I can journal on those, right? Put some notes down there, or I can distress them with some distressing. I'm just going to draw these so I get these straight because it's probably too little to tear. So I'm going to go do all my 8 sheets this way. 5 by 8. Okay? That's what I'm going to do. And I'll distress them. Now you need to distress them with the ink or whatever before we get to the next part. Okay?